Hi, friends. So, as many of you know, I had had a hysterectomy 6 weeks ago. So, I had had a hysterectomy because I was struggling with pelvic organ prolapse. I've been struggling with that for many years. And it's just been this thing of waiting until I couldn't bear it anymore, until I couldn't handle all of that pelvic pressure, all of the cramping, all of the dysfunction, and just misery. Um, and in the process of leading up to having that surgery, I had shared with a lot of people and stuff. This video is going to be cross posted between my Lynn's channel and the Heart to Heart channel. So if you guys are confused in terminology, if you're on the Heart to Heart and you're wondering why I'm talking like I've known you guys forever, that'd be why, because lots of history here. But so you guys have known for a long time that I've been talking about how I needed to, once we got this property 6 months ago, that I needed to basically just work my ass off before having surgery, because I could feel internally that every aspect of life would change for me after surgery. That I would never be as strong as I was, I would never be as capable as I was, and that something huge would shift. I shared with you guys of all these different things that I was doing to help future self, this future version of myself. After I'd had surgery, I had noticed how my nervous system had calmed down and had settled down, and I was like, oh man, I'm getting in the groove. Like, I'm figuring out how to live a more comfortable life, a more sustainable life for myself, one that's not filled with so much mental anguish from PTSD. To be honest with you guys, like, I have had an extremely challenging and difficult life where essentially it's only been more recently that I haven't had people around me that are trying to basically keep me underwater, keep me drowning in darkness, keep me silent, keep me from being me, keep me from ever growing and rising and becoming who I always was meant to be, who I've always been. But I was just constantly having my legs kicked out from underneath me, my wings clipped, my light extinguished, just every day pretty much around, you know. But anyways, um, so I had shared with you guys of how much stuff I needed to do, of how every project that I had to get every single difficult task done that was like a Lindsay specific task that only I could do. Like tilling the garden. That was something that was really important to me this year, was to be able to till my own garden, start my own garden here, so that way I could feel the soil, I could sense where to plant what. Because I'm so sensitive that I can tell by walking on land and stuff, not by even looking at the soil, not by identifying grasses or anything. I can sense the energy whenever I walk on land to tell if it's going to have a lot of hard clay, if it's going to have good nutrient density, just basically what will grow there and what won't. I can just feel it. I can sense it if it's going to be a good place to put a garden. I don't know how else to describe it. My level of sensitivity is off the charts, so I can sense everything that happens, in the air around me, on the earth plane, on the spiritual plane, the physical plane, just everything. I'm just constant. I'm like a sponge. I just absorb it all and sense every ounce of it. But so it was really important to me to do certain things, to get the fencing done how I wanted it, to set up pastures how I wanted it, to get the milking stuff ready, to get all of this stuff put into place. So then that way, me after July 13th would be able to have an easier life, that version of me would never have to work so hard, never have to struggle so much, and like just be basically like, I don't know how to describe it, shortening my lifespan by working so incredibly hard, putting myself into early levels of disability. I already am quite disabled, to be honest with you guys. I haven't been able to work a regular job in several years because of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I can't function unless if I'm able to, do self-care whenever I need, take a break whenever I need, lay down when I need to, and that sort of a thing. But so yesterday at the appointment, well, on Saturday, actually, my surgeon wanted me to go to the ER because I was having so much pain and pressure and just a lot of uncomfortable situations and feelings, and I'd been having them for several days. It turns out that I had actually had a cyst on my left ovary that had ruptured. I have not had a problem with that in 17 years, so there again, that 17-year cycle that I've mentioned in several videos and stuff, the cycle of the cicada. I haven't had that issue in 17 years. A lot of stuff has been brought back to what happened to me 17 years ago. Things about 17 years ago. And all this stuff keeps having me look back to certain, 7 years, 9 years, 17 years, these different cycles. I've noticed that they just keep creeping and coming up. But so anyways, So, what I had found out from the doctor when I went there yesterday. Oh, by the way, the cyst thing that ruptured, I'm going to be dealing with misery from that. It's going to take 2 to 4 weeks for the free fluid in my abdomen and my pelvic bowl to be able to actually dissipate and be reabsorbed by the body. So in that time period, I basically feel like there is a light-sized tampon shoved sideways, like up and diagonal inside of me. It's quite uncomfortable, to be honest with you guys. And there's also burning. That's what it feels like. So I was sexually abused as a child, and I know that feeling pretty well, that burning, pressure, awful feeling. Okay, so that feeling's been happening for a while now. When I went to the ER, I had described that feeling, and they said, this seems odd. And I'm like I had pelvic organ prolapse. I'm pretty sure that my bladder has been prolapsing still because I don't have a uterus anymore, and something's still falling. Between them and my doctor on Monday, yesterday, they determined that my bladder is definitely prolapsing whenever I'm upright for too long, whenever I do anything strenuous, whenever I sit for too long even. I have to keep laying down and taking break after break after break after break. Like, I should be fully recovered from having the hysterectomy. I should be unstoppable at this point. But instead yesterday, my surgeon informed me that for the rest of my life, I will be under this same weight restriction as I had for surgery. That for the rest of my life, I will never be able to lift more than 20 pounds. I will not be able to stay on my feet for long periods of time, do strenuous activity. Basically, everything that I had felt like, oh, well, life's going to be easier for me. Life's going to be this. I got to, do this. I got to do this. I got to do this for future me, future me, future me, future me. I was dead on, but I didn't realize quite this level of severity that future me would be dealing with things. That same pelvic pressure and burning and pain that I felt as a child after being abused, that adult me now would have that same searing, burning pain. And that's kind of hard. It's not kind of hard, it's very hard. So the course of action is to, once everything is finally healed, finished healing, because it's not finished healing internally. The doctor determined that. She found that there was, like the cuff, everything like that from surgery is okay. It's maintained, it's safe, but inner tissues have not finished healing. So I still have to be extremely careful right now. Obviously, for the rest of my days, I have to be. But so, like, I still can't go swimming. I still can't, have anything enter inside. I can't, there's so many things that I'm still very limited on, specifically because things have not finished healing. So there's a lot of protection that has to be happening down in there still. But so in like 5-6 weeks time, something like that, I'm supposed to start pelvic floor therapy again. That'll continue on for the next 12 weeks. I'll have 12 weeks of that. And if by the time I'm done with pelvic therapy, if I cannot cope with the sensation of the bladder prolapsing, if I cannot get a better handle on it, figure out a way to make life work better, and basically train my body to help hold it back up into place like I was doing for years with my uterus, then I will have to see the specialist to potentially pursue another procedure, which is something I do not want to do, because the doctor warned me that if I end up having to have that secondary procedure done, I will not be able to lift anything more than like a pound or two for the rest of my life. So this is kind of hard. My whole life I've been made to feel like I was just a big wimp and a baby and a crybaby and too sensitive, and that I've needed to just suck up all my pain, suck it all up and deal with it, work harder, push past it, that my only value was what I could physically do, and being so strong and being stronger than men, using every ounce of my being and using adrenaline to just and push and just be so strong. Because that was the only way I wouldn't be hurt. It's the only way I would receive praise, admiration, love, acceptance. In these last, like, pretty much since we bought this property, I've been working on learning to love myself, to give myself grace, to understand myself, and to really greatly wrap myself up in so much love and protection, so that way I would do no harm. Right now, I keep thinking about how, like, even though this sucks, like, this obviously, it really freaking sucks. It is hard. It is a challenge. It is going to be difficult. I don't know what this means for our goats, because I still cannot do them. This weekend I'm going to try to work on, once the pressure from the cyst, once that pain, once that, all that dissipates and that discomfort dissipates, I'll be able to function a lot better. Obviously, once I do the PT, once the musculature is more in place and more in balance and stuff, life will be a lot easier for me. I'll be able to cope better. I'll be in less discomfort, that sort of a thing. And I know that I'll be able to adapt. I'm very, very good at finding workarounds, finding ways to still be independent, even with a body that struggles, that sort of a thing. It's just, I'm really grateful that we got this news before our other house closed, before we got the money from selling the old house, before we spent anything on making any sort of adjustments or tweaks on this fixer-upper, before we were planning on heating this house completely with wood, like we did the last house, and that obviously is no longer in the cards. Obviously, like, if I can't lift more than 20 pounds, and I'm supposed to even restrict how much I'm doing that, like, basically the doctor told me, anything that you're doing right now that causes prolapse, you have to stop. Like, I mopped half of our house the other day. I didn't even mess with the bucket of water. Like, Tracy picked up the bucket, dumped the water, got me new water. I just did the mopping, the side to side, gentle mopping. I couldn't even mop half of the main living area. So that was, I want to say, like 800, probably about 900 square feet. I couldn't even mop half of that without having to take a significant break, because I was in that much misery, like pain to the level of getting nauseated, dizzy, wanting to, like, pass out. Like, that's what I'm dealing with. There are so many things that I am going to have to just accept, learn to deal with, learn to live with, learn to work around. Like, while I was laid up for surgery and stuff, like, I had learned that, like, instead of, like, pushing heavy doors shut or open or whatever, I could just body slam into stuff, that sort of a thing. And that instead of using my body to actually lift something, that I can just use my fingers to pry open different things that are normally you would, pull open drawers. I can just with my fingers and do different things like that, to where I'm not putting any abdominal strain on myself. There's a lot of risk that if I do not, like, the doctor yesterday quite literally told me that if I don't listen to her orders, if I don't abide by this, if I don't start taking care of my body better, that there's a chance that I could actually make everything completely exit out of my body. She pretty much told me that if I continue on living the way that I have lived, of being so physically active, being so doing so much, that I essentially will be ripping out my insides. And that now is the time that I need to start preserving my body for the long haul, which is something that, since my grandma has passed, has been really on me about, of, you're living as if you're only going to live 5 more years, Lindsay. That's how you're living, is that you only have this much life left, that you're burning out so fast. And, like, now I can see it. Like, as soon as the doctor told me that, I said, I hope you understand that this is something that will save my body. And she said, I know it will. I know that it'll save your joints. This is why this is happening. You have to save your body. I said, I understand. I'm great at preserving things. But this is the point at which I start preserving my body, preserving my energy, preserving my joy, preserving my peace. And not doing anything that will cause me harm. in any way. So there's a lot of things that will be cut out. This whole year, I've been given a sword of truth, a very fiery, flaming sword that burns, that I can use it to cut anything out, anything that cut through the lies, cut through deception. If you guys are familiar with archangels at all, there's been a lot of discussions and stuff between me and Archangel Michael, Archangel Jophiel. Like a lot of cord cutting has been happening. A lot of asking for truth to be revealed and seeing so many things that you cannot unsee, sort of things of where my energy is going, who's using me, who's not using me, who's there to give to me, who's there to take from me, and all of that stuff. It's been like this whole year has been a great eye-opening realization, eyes wide open, and been testing. There's been a lot of testing that I've been through and that I've witnessed other people going through. I'm going to leave this here because I'm just going to end up start thinking about all of the limitations that I'm going to have. Like last night, it dawned on me that when it becomes time for us to have grandchildren, there is a very short duration of their lives that I will be able to carry them. And that's kind of hard. I realized that there's a lot more fear in me than I had anticipated in terms of ever being assaulted again, attacked again, because having this knowing that having this realization and this inner knowing that I will forever be in a state of vulnerability, that if I ever had to defend myself physically, that it would do harm to me. That is terrifying to somebody that has been through what I have been through. To have to ask for help from so many other people when I have felt like the only way I can receive love is if I am able to do things for others, and now I need others to do things for me. That's hard. Very hard. I have been given such a heart of service to help others, to care for others, to serve others. And I have done it for so long and for so hard that it has put me in a state of detriment. That God has basically said, "That is enough, child. It is time for you to receive. Now sit back and just receive. Let me help you." And to know that now I have no choice but to surrender, but to say, I really cannot do this alone. And to have it be that I've come to that crossroads, to that fork in the road, or not, it's not even a fork in the road, it is a straight up road closed, roadblock, turn around, different path, you cannot do this anymore. Life forever changed. For it to be that in my face, that blatantly obvious, that Lindsay, you will end up shortening every aspect of pleasure, every aspect of goodness, every aspect of life that you love, that'll be gone if you continue down this path, that you will be left empty and hollow, and that abuse will basically just eat out every part of you physically. The body, that like my soul has healed so much, my heart, my emotional body, all of that stuff, but my physical body has kept so much score of what has happened to me that now my physical body is like, we cannot go on, we cannot do this anymore, like just let us be loved. And that is something that is very, very foreign for me, very hard for me, when my whole life it has been me that has been giving and pouring my cup out again and again and again and again. And what's hard is like so many people did not deserve it. Did not deserve what I gave them. But it's not me who gets to judge who deserves the love that I have to give. Because for all I know, the love that I gave to people that I feel did not deserve it, it probably protected a lot of other people from what would have happened if that person was not filled with my love, was not given the love and the capacity that I can love, was not given the healing that I can give. It's kind of scary when you think about it, because the way that I heal, the way that I love, the depths of the darkest darkness that I can reach into somebody and put light there, I'm pretty sure that me just being who I am as a human being, serving in the ways that I've served, in the capacity that I have served, feeding as many people as I have fed, doing all the things that I have done, and I'm sure that I have saved probably countless lives by making them feel loved in such a, and seen in such a deep, meaningful way. Oh God, I'm gonna end this here because I need to purge a lot more tears, and I don't want to do that with you guys. I want to just allow those tears of grief to just flow. Yesterday there was a lot of that. Like, I'm not angry. This will not turn me bitter. This will not turn me callous in any shape or form. It's just I've realized that I have no choice now but to love myself, but to honor my body, but to say, I don't care what you say, what you think, what's been said about me, what anything is. I know that I am not lazy, that I am not a baby, that I am not too sensitive, that I am not weak, that I'm not pathetic because I need help. I'm very curious too, to see, I just got jerked on by the tree. I always take it kind of like as a sign from God, nature, Gaia, the divine, whatever force you want to, whatever you want to use. I always take it kind of as a sign whenever the dew drips off of the tree and like hits me, especially like on my third eye area or like on my crown chakra, because it was like literally right in here, then it ran down. Like almost like the divine saying, hey, here's a drop of inspiration. Let's just figure something else out. It'll lead to something good. I know that it will. I know that my testimony, my story, what I've been through, that it will be told, as I called to do that for a long time. So this will not make me hard. This will not turn any parts of me to stone. It will not harden me. It will not make me angry. It will not make me bitter. It will not damage me. Because honestly, this is what my body needs. This is what my vessel needs. This is what I need in order to serve in this way of moving forward. I have always had visions and dreams before we bought this place of having a farm that was very much open for the community, that had a lot of community help that was there, that I would start it. And I had been told once I started this property, the divine had spoke to me and had said, you have to use your vision. All you have to do is start it, and then help will come. That whole, like the Field of Dreams thing, if you build it, they will come. That's what I was pretty much told to do here. That I just needed to start it and get it so far, so that way other people could see what I could see, that they could see the vision that was within my head, because the help would come. And so you guys know, I do have help that is coming. So our old farmhand, Ken from our old house, he was our neighbor at our old house. We became pretty good friends. We're the same age. He's actually willing to come down here and be our farmhand when we need help. So the heavy lifting stuff, it's not going to be a burden for my wife too much longer, because we're just going to have him come help us. So our contractor friend, he's willing and able to do anything that I need built. So the days of me having to struggle on my own to build things on my own are over. And then we have another friend that lives kind of locally to us here, and she's willing to help me with doing some garden stuff, stuff that's a struggle for me, like transplanting seedlings and stuff. A lot of squatting. I cannot do a lot of squatting, so definitely need to make modifications to the property here, which is all stuff that I'd been planning on doing. That this year I knew would be a hard year, it'd be a struggleful year for the garden and for everything, because it was just, got to get it started. That first year is always like so incredibly difficult. Plus, we also had no money, so I knew that that would make things extremely difficult too, because when things need done and, you know, you need money to do them, or to have a lot of help, a lot of excess help, you know, and you have the skill set to do it yourself, obviously you're going to do it yourself. You're going to save money. So this was basically my final push, my final everything, my final me being super independent, doing it on my own, proving to myself that I am strong and I'm not. Proving to myself that I am worthy of being loved. That I don't have to do harm to myself in order to receive it anymore. So, yeah, I think that's pretty much full circle. I think I just went full circle with myself, because I feel a lot more peace. I don't feel like I need to just purge a lot of tears. So I hope you guys got something from this. If not, maybe you've got some energy, some love, some prayers, some kindness, compassion, to share with me, to give to me, to send my way, because this is going to be a struggle. And I hope you guys understand that this is part of why I stopped making homesteading content, because I could tell that my body could not keep doing this for much longer, of trying to hold the camera up, trying to show what I was doing. It's also why I've never shown my work, because I cannot show my work. I cannot take any extra time or energy to play with camera angles and all that BS that goes along with making it so that way people can sit and watch somebody else work. I don't understand people that find pleasure in that. I mean, that just, get off your ass and do something. That's my take on it. So, I mean, obviously, there's some people that can't, and that's you know, obviously they're watching so that way they feel that sense of fulfillment. I'm sure that one day I'll do the same thing, but there's a lot of people that just like to sit there and, you know, armchair farmers or whatever, and be like, I should do it this way, you know, that sort of a thing. But yeah, I feel a lot better since I told you guys, since I got that out. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for receiving this. Thank you for staying. For those of you that stayed till the end, thank you. So I love you guys. I hope that me being sad doesn't make you guys sad. You know, it's okay to grieve. It's okay to be sad for me. It's okay to process this in your own way and stuff. But don't feel sad for me. Like, don't throw that at me. Just throw some love at me, because I'll feel that sadness, and then I'll feel sad, because I can feel you guys. I can feel everything. So I don't need to be sad. I just need love, acceptance, grace, and for me to be continuously shown creative workarounds, so that way I can still do the things that I love to do, the things that bring me a lot of peace, a lot of joy, a lot of happiness, and a lot of healing. Because I would not be who I am today if I wasn't a homesteader, if I wasn't a gardener, if I didn't, you know, take independence into my own life, into my own hands and stuff, to prove to myself that I'm not worthless, that I can tangibly do things that other people cannot, that I can do things that I can be proud of, that I can taste how good I am. I have that irrefutable proof that no matter how much times somebody tries to gaslight me, I can go, yeah, but I just ate that turnip. I just ate the food that I did. I just did this and this and this and this. You know, it's so helpful when you've been through what I've been through, to have physical things that are unmovable, unshakable, burdens of proof, basically, that when your mind starts playing tricks on you and all this, and you get down in that rabbit hole of, you know, that you suck and all this stuff, that you can then look around and go, nope, I did that, and I did that, and I did that, and I. Because then when you start pointing out those, I did this, I did that, then you can say, I'm not worthless because blank, 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 blank. I'm not lazy because, you know, that sort of a thing. So I just wanted to, I'm going to end this here for real this time. So I love you guys. Thank you.